So now what we find about the unit circle is it's really just a pattern. Just remember that when we're in the different quadrants, the first quadrant, our x value is positive and our y value is also positive. In our second quadrant, the x value is negative and the y value is positive. In quadrant number 3, the x value is negative and the y value is also negative. And in quadrant 4, the x value is positive and the y value is negative. So really all I have to do is take these points that I have in quadrant 1 and distribute them into the other quadrants and just take into account what the signs would be. So I'm going to start with all of my 30-degree angles. So that would be this triangle right here. So it's going to be the exact same as what we had in quadrant 1, except for the x value will be negative. And then if I did the same thing in quadrant number 3, we're looking at this point here, they're both going to be negative. So I'm going to put the negative square root of 3 over 2 and a negative 1/2. And if I do the same thing in quadrant number 4, the x will be a positive value and the y will be negative. And then I'll go ahead and put in my 45-degree angles. So over here, the x value will be negative and the y value positive. In quadrant number 3, they're both negative. And in quadrant number 4, the x is positive and the y is negative. And then finally, I'll put in the 60-degree angles. So quadrant number 2, we have a negative x value and a positive y value. Quadrant 3, they'll both be negative. And quadrant 4, the x will be positive, the y will be negative. So it's just a pattern. So really, if you know the coordinates in quadrant 1, you should be able to create all of the coordinates in quadrant 2, 3, and 4. And one last thing, let's go ahead and put in these 90-degree angles. So we've already got 90. If we go to 180, again, our x value is going to be a negative 1. I'll have to write it in here, negative 1. And our y value is 0. And if we're looking at the angle at 270, the x value is 0 and the y value is down 1 unit, so it's negative 1.